Hello everyone. Now you will hear a brief summary of the film American Fighter. Enjoy watching. Ali Jahani is constantly haunted by nightmares because of the ongoing Iran-Iraq war. A year ago, he escaped from Iran to the United States and became the state wrestling champion. The young man enrolled in college and faced a new challenge, since the competition here is much tougher than it was in high school. Today, Jahani was supposed to meet his parents at the airport. But right before their flight, armed men dragged the couple off the plane and forced them to their knees. They know that their son escaped to the enemy and became a celebrity there. For this, his father was shot right on the runway, and his mother was never seen again after that. The young man was only given his parents' belongings. He turned to the immigration service for help. His mother, Golly, is very ill. She needs to be brought to the US and given medical assistance, but it won't be possible to do this legally. Golly will have to be taken out secretly, and that will cost a serious amount. 10,000 for transportation, 10 for bribes, and another 10 for a new passport.
Why does it cost 30,000? That's not even counting my fee. I'm not gonna charge you.
And you have to pay in advance right away half the amount. Without treatment in America, Ali's mother will die, so they'll have to come up with something. The student sold his mother's jewelry and his own car. Now he needs to find a high-paying job, but foreigners are being turned down everywhere. So far, he's only managed to raise $9,000. During training, another fighter called the Iranian Ali Baba and kept provoking him. Ali wasn't going to put up with it and punched his opponent. A real fight broke out between them. After class, Chet started threatening the migrant and pointed to the rifle he always carries with him. Heidi made fun of the redneck. And humiliated, Chet decided to leave.
We'll deal with you later, Prune. Ripen up.
Ali's previous girlfriend left to study at another college, and now our hero has a new romantic interest brewing. Although for now he's more concerned about money. His friend Ryan came up with an idea. He knows where underground no-rules fights are held in the city. And with a punch as good as Ali's, there's the chance to make some money. Everything here is run by an Irishman named McKellen. You have to try to impress him. However, the promoter doubts Ali's abilities. This isn't wrestling here, it's much tougher. McCullen will give $300 just for stepping into the ring, and another $300 if he somehow manages to win.
Is this even legal? Guys, please throw him out of here.
Ali was dragged toward the exit. Then some racists started insulting him. The guy broke free and gave the jerk a beating. The security guards barely managed to pull him aside, and McCullen changed his attitude towards the newcomer. The bald kid will get his chance next Friday. Ryan is a boxer and volunteered to train Ali. Besides, he himself had participated in similar fights. The persistent Heidi set her sights on Ali and started arranging one date after another. Before the fight, the young man thought of his mother. He was so nervous that he threw up. McCullen introduced the new fighter. This cocky migrant thinks he can beat an American.
Ali.
Ali what?
Ali Jahani.
Ali Kakani. Ali Kakani.
Crusher John stepped up against Ali Kakani and immediately started pounding on the inexperienced fighter. Ali still doesn't know how to defend himself, or attack for that matter. However, the nimble wrestler still managed to take Crusher down and began landing blow after blow, even after the bald man had already lost consciousness. McCullen announced that the villain from the East had won. The audience was clearly dissatisfied with the outcome of this match. But McCullen was impressed. He even counted out an extra 100 for the newcomer. Now the local doctor, Duki, a gloomy man in a worn-out coat, will patch up the Iranian. Another concern is hiding the bruises on his battered face. But Heidi, for example, isn't bothered by this at all.
Maybe your fingers are broken? Is that why you didn't call?
The next fight was also tough. Ali was almost knocked out, but he managed to turn things around, took down his opponent, and slammed his head into the floor. The crowd was once again against Ali. This worked in McCullen's favor, since Americans always bet against the Iranian. It turned out that Ryan also decided to return to the ring. He fought right after Ali and easily defeated his opponent. Ryan plans to give all the money he earns to his friend. Duke warned the newcomers that fighting alone isn't enough. The first serious fighter will easily break Ali. Ryan calls Duke a drunk and a loser. He used to compete too, until someone crippled him. Ali's life changed dramatically. Now he has to find time for dates, training and underground fights. Ali keeps winning one fight after another and is saving money to rescue his mother. He managed to save up $15,000. He needs just as much more. Ryan threw a stack of $100 bills on the table. He is doing everything he can to help his friend. Heidi won't leave Ali's side. The girl invited him to a party. Ali's next opponent will be a huge brute. The kid got scared. But Duke pointed out that this brute had problems with his left shoulder. The tank switched to berserk mode and charged into the attack. McCullen set up this challenge for Ali on purpose, since the crowd had long wanted to see the migrant get his ass kicked. Ali isn't able to throw him to the ground. He can't manage to break through this Hulk either. The brute tosses the kid from side to side, but his big mistake was leaning in toward the wrestler. Ali instantly twisted his injured shoulder. McCullen realized that it was Duke who had tipped him off. But it's too soon to relax. The tank got back on his feet. Now he needs to somehow knock him out. Ali climbed on top of him and, not without effort, choked out the brute. At last the crowd acknowledged the Iranian skill and greeted him with applause. McCullen was sure that at least today Ali would lose, but he's just too good. The promoter poured the student some whiskey and offered him to place a bet on the next fight himself. But Ryan said that they don't do that kind of thing. Mr. V informed Ali that the situation in the country had become more tense. He needs to hurry. However, the young man still doesn't have the required amount. He only has a few days left to gather the remaining sum. So that same evening, Ali came to McCullen and said he was ready to accept his offer. The student will risk all his savings, $7,500. McCullen made a phone call to someone and said that it was settled. The fight would take place the very next evening. After that, the Irishman started getting Ali drunk until he lost consciousness. Because of this, the guy ditched Heidi and didn't show up at the party. His friend does not approve of this kind of behavior.
Well, I'm still drunk.
You ditched Heidi just to get wasted? Is that like your new thing?
Ali confessed to Ryan that he had signed up for the promoter's risky scheme. He simply wasn't given a choice. Right now, Ali had to head to wrestling practice. He used an illegal move and angered the coach. But that's the last thing on the student's mind right now. He grabbed the money he had set aside and headed to the underground fight venue. Ryan was on the undercard, and he won his match. Duke got drunker than usual tonight. Ali was set up. Many years ago, the drunk found himself in a similar situation. He advised the student not to step into the ring tonight, but Ali didn't listen to Duke and handed all his money to McCullen. Tonight he absolutely has to win. The promoter introduced Ali as an unbeatable fighter. But now he's up against a Muay Thai champion. Ryan realized his friend was done for. McCullen took the bets and told them to begin. Wolverine is a fighter of a completely different caliber. He took out the Iranian without even breaking a sweat. Ali couldn't even get close to him, let alone land a hit. The kickboxer knocked him out cold. Enraged, Ryan punched McCullen. For that, the Irishman ordered the bouncers to cripple the student. Fortunately, at some point Duke stood up for him. When Ali came to, the drunk scolded him. You always need to know who you're stepping into the ring against. Ali lost everything. His bet failed. Right then, he found out what happened to Ryan. The guy waited all night at the hospital so he could visit his friend at the first opportunity. Even though Ryan was unconscious, Ali still asked him for forgiveness. And then Heidi also lashed out at him. Apparently, this guy loves beating people up if he takes part in things like this.
I think that's the end of it.
That night, Ali got drunk and stole a rifle from Chad's car. The drunk student showed up at McCullen's office to get his money back, but Duke managed to stop him. The man calmed Ali down. Ali broke down in tears because he blames himself for what happened to Ryan. In the morning, Ali woke up in Duke's trailer. The man encouraged him not to give up and to keep moving forward. If Ali wants, the former fighter will show him how. The student asked the drunkard to help him prepare for the next fight. Duke then went to the promoter and demanded that Ali be given another match. The scoundrel has set up fighters more than once before.
So you still want to settle the score with me, huh? But you know, I had nothing to do with it.
Duke threw his 10,000 on the table so that McCullen would arrange another fight for Ali against Wolverine. The promoter agreed. He gave the student a whole 2 weeks to prepare. Ali called Mr. V. The man had managed to move his mother to a safe place for now, but she still needed urgent medical help. Duke began training the Iranian wrestler. He would try to develop Ali's strengths and hide his weaknesses. Apparently, during this time, the student completely gave up on his studies and the college wrestling team. Ali went to the hospital and apologized to his friend once again. He also told him that he would be fighting Wolverine again. This time he was sure he would succeed, because he was being trained by a drunk. The man told how, before an important fight, 3 guys grabbed him and broke his leg. McCullen still denies any involvement. At the time he had bet all his money on his own victory, so he went into the ring anyway. After losing everything, Duke started drinking. Drunk, he got behind the wheel and crashed into a tree. His little son was in the car with him, and that day, he was gone. Those 10,000 he had been saving for his son's college. Ali finally confessed to Heidi that he took part in illegal fights because of his mother and asked the girl for forgiveness.
Go in there and tear him apart.
2 weeks later, the Iranian stepped into the ring again. McCallan gave the order for the fighters to begin. The lanky Wolverine started off confidently but suddenly began taking hits. Of course, after all, the Migrant had been training for 14 days, which is practically half a lifetime if you say a dung fly. And besides, Ali is fighting for his mother, which means he's bound to succeed. Wolverine's punches no longer knock him out, though one of them did send Ali off for a little nap. He saw his mother again. The woman asked her son to get up and finally take her out of Iran. The boy somehow managed to get back on his feet and landed just one punch on his opponent. That was enough for the champion to lose his bearings, and the Migrant finished him off spectacularly with a flying kick. To make sure Wolverine wouldn't recover, Ali choked him out. McCallan was about to run off with the money, but Duke turned to Mr. V for help, and his special forces friends took out the promoter's security. Duke took all of McCallan's money.
Consider this my severance pay. We'll meet again.
Finally, Ali's mother arrived in the USA. It's a pity that she and her son don't yet know how expensive medicine is in this country.